And that actually inherently then takes away from when those problems really are occurring, when fat phobia really is present, when body toxicity really is present, when skinny phobia really is present. You labeling these people as something that they may not actually be will take away from when people are actually doing those things. It then desensitizes people to these actual problems and devalues those problems in themselves. I was about to say that we're looking at Zoe 101 today, but unfortunately that's an absolutely banging program from the glory days of my life, and instead we're looking at Zoe Unlimited, body positivity or toxicity, which is something that was actually initially raised to me to cover. It must have been about 2 years ago, where someone said, can you talk about the body positivity movement? And then I got a bit worried, like, well, how do I approach this? What if I say the wrong thing? What if I upset people? But then ultimately I came to understand that I'm simply giving an opinion. I'm never trying to upset anybody. I'm never trying to force anybody to believe my opinion, but simply giving an opinion of where I stand. But that opinion is also subject to change, as many of my opinions in the last year, 2 years, 10 years have also changed.
Can you be healthy at any size? Although I 100% agree that weight is not a holistic indicator of your health and wellness. Weight and size are nevertheless indicators and predictors of our physical strength, cardiovascular health, and risk of certain diseases.
Yeah, in fairness, I do believe that you can be healthy at any size. Within reason, obviously. My BMI is obese. I'm not fat, I have a six-pack, but my BMI is obese. Does that mean I'm unhealthy? You'd look at me and say, no, probably not. But you don't know what my insides are doing. You don't know the stresses my body is going through to maintain this heavier weight. And ultimately, I do think weight and things along those lines can actually be predictors. Not saying they are, but they can be. For example, you look at me, I'm quite heavy, I'm quite lean, my diet's pretty good. But if you actually look at my blood tests, there are definitely some causes for concern in there and some things I really need to work on. My cholesterol isn't great, despite my diet being pretty good. My kidneys are okay, but they're not amazing. There are so many things that you wouldn't necessarily predict when looking at me. And that potentially indicates that perhaps that is due to how heavy I am and how much I am carrying. So yes, I do think you can be healthy at pretty much any size, or most sizes we'll say, and maybe every size, I don't know, but I do think weight can be a predictor of potential health concerns that might influence your likelihood of illness in the future, like heart disease, etc, etc. I probably am predisposed to some problems because my cholesterol isn't amazing and my BMI is obese, therefore my body is going to have to be working really hard to actually just live, function and do what it needs to do, which in turn is going to be putting more strain on my body. So again, although you may not predict it by looking at me, maybe there's something going on and maybe this will impact me in the future, who knows? Which is why I do think it's fundamentally important for a lot of people to make sure they are checking their health in whatever capacity they can do so. Blood tests, whatever it may be, just because you don't know what's going on beneath the surface. You can look at somebody who has an incredible physique and say, well, they must be so healthy. Externally, perhaps they look pretty healthy if that's what you deem health to be. Internally, could be another story.
For instance, there were a lot of dramatic and negative reactions to Adele's weight loss, where those who supported her weight loss were considered fat phobic.
So I'm going to say something that's probably going to upset some people and say something that may in fact encourage people to unsubscribe from my channel, but ultimately I'm not saying this with malicious intent, I'm merely just giving an opinion. Life is tough. There are some horrible things going on in the world, some really sad things going on in the world, especially at the moment and recently, but life must be particularly sad for the people who will fault everybody for anything. You support Adele's weight loss, you're fat phobic, but are you fat phobic, or are you just supporting the fact that this individual that you may deem to be a role model, somebody that you actually really respect, has decided to do something that they want to do for their own personal reasons? She's even stated she was body positive, she still is body positive, but because she no longer fits into this plus size label, it's inherently a problem because she's now fat phobic, or people supporting her fat phobic. Are they? Or actually just supporting somebody that they really appreciate and respect? If my friend comes to me who's heavily overweight, says, I'm going to lose some weight, I'm like, does that make you happy? They say, yes, I support that. Am I fat phobic? Or am I just glad to see my friend doing something that they want to do to make them happier? Someone says to me who may be horrendously underweight that they want to gain some weight, I say to them, does that make you happy? And they say yes. Am I now skinny phobic, or am I actually just supporting a friend who wants to do something for them when their body has nothing to do with me? I just want them to be happy and do what is best for them, their health and their longevity. Hypothetically speaking, Adele's having some horrendous health problems due to maybe weight related issues. And she says, well, I'm going to lose some weight because apparently my doctor has stated that these could be contributing to the issues I might be facing. And then she loses weight. People say, wow, that's fat phobic. Or is that actually just health conscious? Or vice versa, somebody is horrendously underweight who's recently perhaps overcome a horrendous disorder such as anorexia. They turn around and say, I'm going to gain some weight because I'm trying to regain control of my body and my relationship with food. And people say, wow, that's skinny phobic. Or is that actually just right for their mental health and right for their relationship with body, food and self? The world is negative enough. Let's not make it worse by faulting everybody for anything they do, especially if it's supporting something such as a weight loss or weight gain journey, when in reality, there are so many things happening in the world, so many things that are horrible to even acknowledge and even process. Is that really the hill to die on? And without concrete evidence of potential discrimination or anything along those lines, is labeling anybody as anything based on your opinion deeming somebody to support weight loss as fatphobic, is that really necessary and is that actually right? Again, I see people on the TikTok machine that say, if you work out for appearance-based reasons, you are fatphobic. Am I fatphobic because I like to work out to look a certain way? Am I skinnyphobic because I want to look a certain way? Is the fact that I deem a muscular and strong physique desirable by me and what I want to achieve, does that mean I'm inherently fatphobic? Does that mean I'm skinnyphobic? Does that mean I'm just phobic of anybody who doesn't have muscles? Or does that simply mean that I'm doing what I want to do for my body to make me happy because it's my body that I'm going to live with, it's my body I'm going to die with? Also, does the fact that I don't really care what anyone else does with their body, does that not mean anything? I don't care if you're overweight, I don't care if you're underweight. At the end of the day, do what makes you happy. Your body is not my vessel to control and influence. Your body is simply what you are. You are driving, and you've got to make it look the way you want to make it look for your health, your happiness, and your life. If that's overweight, underweight, normal weight, big, small, weak, strong, you do you. I'm too busy trying to make sure I'm happy, trying to make sure that the life I'm living is actually one that I can be content with.
Fitness influencers like Chloe Tim, for instance, receive hate for promoting body dysmorphia.
I didn't magically have this physique. I worked hard for it. The problem is that the vast majority of the female population will never look like a client, and their inability to do so fuels body dysmorphia.
I'm actually going to support Chloe here. This further highlights the problem is that people are looking for a problem in anything. I get, yes, you can feel body dysmorphia, but is that actually feeling body dysmorphia, or are you actually looking for a problem in anything? I go to the gym and sometimes I post workout content where I might be in a tank top. Am I fueling body dysmorphia? Sometimes I go to the gym, I speak about analysing people's workouts to make sure they're working out effectively and efficiently. Does that mean I'm fueling fat phobia because I'm teaching people how to work out better? I'm not saying things like fat phobia, skinny phobia, body negativity, toxicity, whatever it may be, don't exist. Absolutely not. Of course they do. Is this fat phobia, or is this just someone trying to be healthier for whatever personal reasons they may have, or sort of trying to be happier for whatever personal reasons they have? Sure, they can be healthy and happy at that size, but what if they, as an individual, are not? If at any point you want to look into TFNL to a greater extent, link down below the TFNL website where you can look at TFNL workout guides. You've also got the group coaching where you can, for less than your Netflix subscription, work out and follow a program that I have created for you alongside the community. And you can also apply to work with myself, Ryder, or Beth on a one-to-one coaching basis where we can coach you towards your goals, whatever they may be. So if any of those things tickle your pickle, have a gander down below and perhaps let your pickle maybe be tickled.
We need to love ourselves at our own pace, not at the pace that social media tells us to, not the pace that a positivity movement pressures us to.
I'll be honest with you, I've actually spoken to many individuals, especially young individuals, that say they're so scared to look a certain way or post certain things because they're worried they'll be labelled as fatphobic or whatever it may be. They're so scared to work out because they're worried they're going to be perceived to be fatphobic because they want to look a certain way. They're so scared to post a picture of themselves in a tight t-shirt because they're worried they're going to promote body dysmorphia, things along those lines. I've spoken to many people who do have that fear because social media has essentially fueled and dramatized so many things and has inherently left us all with almost expression anxiety where we can't post or say what we want to say without fear that it might be perceived as something that it was never intended to be. I post a picture of me in a tank top tensing because I feel like, oh, this picture, I feel better in this picture. I feel quite happy about this picture. Let me post it so I can just be proud of myself. You're fatphobic for doing that. Oh no, skinnyphobic. Oh no, that's promoting body dysmorphia. That's never an intention, never a desire. Simply saying, actually, no, I'm not trying to promote anything. I'm actually just posting a picture that makes me happy. And ultimately, I'm the one who's going to be dying in this body. I want it to look how I want it to look. I want to get from A to B in the happiest means possible. And again, I feel like this, what Zoe's actually saying here, has some fair points where we do need to learn to love ourselves at our own pace. Again, oftentimes I find that people who are very insecure will project those insecurities on other people. But at the end of the day, it's your body, your choice. If you want to look a certain way, you look that way. If you want to be larger, skinnier, muscular, smaller, if it makes you happy and it's what you want to achieve, I fully support it, because quite frankly, I don't have an opinion not to. It's your body, your choice, like I said earlier. Don't force it down other people's throats. Do what you want to do for you. Do not shame other people for making their own personal decisions, and do not shame other people for doing what they want to do. Let people live their life how they want to live it. Provided you aren't spreading negativity, hate, anything of that nature, then I support it. As soon as you start trying to force things down people's throats, like you need to look like this, you need to do this, you are that, you're creating problems that shouldn't be there. Honestly, there's enough problems in the world. And that actually inherently then takes away from when those problems really are occurring, when fat phobia really is present, when body toxicity really is present, when skinny phobia really is present. You labeling these people as something that they may not actually be will take away from when people are actually doing those things. It then desensitizes people to these actual problems and devalues those problems in themselves, thus actually potentially not helping the issue at all, simply taking away from the people who really need help, who are facing those issues that you're trying to maybe label other people with. Oh, what a ramble, what a rant. I do apologise. Hopefully you don't hate me for what I've said, but if you do, I'm sorry. I respect your opinion, and I hope you can respect mine too. At the end of the day, that's what it is. This is simply my opinion. Whether you choose to align with it or not, that's completely up to you. It does not change my opinion of you, as it shouldn't change your opinion of me. In fact, my opinion may even change. Who knows? You look how you want to look for you. Focus on yourself. Focus on your happiness. You cannot control what other people do. You can simply control what you do. So whatever you choose to do it right, do it properly, and do it for the correct reasons. Thank you for tolerating me. Thank you for tolerating a very long waffle. And thank you for tolerating the video.